Alright, John Oaks here, coming to you from HANKSTERS Hot Rods in Homer City, PA location. And today, guys and girls, we've got here a very nice addition to our inventory. Beautiful 1967 Chevrolet Camaro RS style car here. This car is nice. You can see here looking at it in the video. The only thing, and I don't want to really call attention to it because it does enough of that on its own, but it does have this big cowl induction hood on it. However, this thing fits very, very nice. It's a 4-inch steel cowl induction hood. So we do not have any fiberglass here, all steel, and again, fits good. The paint is excellent on this car. So again, 67 Camaro, we've got this metallic blue paint on this car. Very nice paint the whole way around the car, very smooth and shiny. And again, the metallic in it isn't very much, just a very little wee hint of it, just enough to make it sparkle when it's outside. Again, it's not overbearing at all. Now this car has the white Bumblebee nose stripe on the front, along with all of the RS badging on the car, including the front grille emblem, the front fender emblems here as you see, and then of course it's got the RS gas cap on the rear, which we'll see as we walk around. But again, all styled after the RS there. We've got these very nice 15-inch polished aluminum. These are centerline wheels. Again, the 5-spoke design, 15-inch. We've got 165/80 R15 size tires up front. Treads excellent on these. As you can see, we've got all the trim on this car too. We've got the wheel lip moldings. We've got this lower body molding, or the RS molding down here. All very nice and straight, polished up really well on this car. Panel fitment, as I look back the side of the car here, your alignment of the fenders, the door, and the quarter panels back there all fall right in line. You can follow your eye right down the line here of the door and see that everything matches up really well on this car. You can also look at those door gaps on the front and on the back side of the door and see that everything's adjusted very well on this particular car. Now, along with all the bright moldings, all the trim work and everything, we've got these chrome mirrors on both the driver and the passenger side. So again, you're going to be able to see, your field of vision is going to be basically 360 degrees in this car. Let's open up our door real quick. We're just going to take a quick peek here, see what we've got. We've got a full black deluxe interior in this car. All of your weather stripping and seals around the door and up around here where the glass seals up against, that is all in excellent condition. These probably are all brand new. Again, you're not going to have any issues with it sealing up from the elements. It's even got the little rubber bump stops on the top and the bottom, and you can see that paint work from the outside continues its way on into the inside of the car as well. And again, we're going to go through the interior just a little bit later here. As we continue our way back here, again, our elevation coming from the door back to the quarter panel is very good on this car. The bright wheel lip moldings. Now on the back for wheels and tires, we got 15-inch wheels again back here, but we do have a slightly bigger tire. It's a 275/60 R15 back here. I did fail to mention here the bright drip rail moldings here up along the top. I even look in the gutters here too and see that looks really good too. Nice and straight on those drip rail moldings and polished up very nice. And coming back to the rear now, we see we got the chrome bumpers on it, front and rear. We've got that rear trunk spoiler as well as part of that whole package with the front air dam and this. Alright, now that we're standing around the back side here of our 67 Camaro RS style vehicle here, we're going to take a look across the back end here. We're going to start here from the top, kind of work our way down here across the trunk lid. So up here, again, all of our moldings here around the window, all the bright work and trim, that's in really good condition, nice and straight, not bunged up in any way. It's polished up real nice too. The glass itself, there's no cracks or chips in it, slightly tinted as well. Your ledge right here, right behind the window, that looks real good too. And then your trunk lid, of course, all steel stuff, all factory stuff. You can check your gaps the whole way around this trunk. and see that these are all uniform the whole way, side to side, front to back. And of course we have that trunk spoiler back here too, painted that same metallic blue as the rest of the exterior of the car. Now our tail panel, they've gone ahead and they've changed out your taillight lenses here, made them the correct lenses for the RS, and they've also put in the correct backup lights here too for the RS, along with that correct RS lower balance. As I mentioned, we've got the RS gas cap here as well, that nicely chromed rear bumper. As far as these taillight lenses go, they are in perfect shape. There's no cracks or chips in them. The bezel, the bright work around it looks to be in excellent shape, and where these are black inside, where they're supposed to be black, they are. There's nothing worn off of them, so they all look fairly new in this instance. I'm going to go ahead and open up our trunk lid now, and then we'll take a look down inside the trunk. Obviously you can hear that the trunk pops, so the lock does work on it. As we tip the trunk lid up, we see our spring works too, holds the trunk up very nicely. Also painted that same metallic blue as the rest of the exterior of the car is. We've got the decals in here like it would be originally for the spare and the bumper jack and everything. Also the decal there for the differential on it as well, just like it would have come. You'll notice that we still have the rubber bump stops on the bottom of the trunk lid as well. And our trunk seal or weather stripping here, that looks to be all new. Looks like they've replaced this, put it in, it comes right together here, it meets right in the center down here. So everything's going to seal up very nicely on this car. Now inside the trunk we do have a full-size spare. Now it's not a matching one for the tires that are on the car, but it is a steel rally wheel with a full-size tire on it. So that'll get you out of the fix if you ever need it. We've got a very nice looking trunk mat in here, and that's just in here on top of the nicely trunk spatter painted trunk here, and that's the correct black and aqua trunk spatter paint that you'll see here as well. In combination with the spare tire, we do have the jack down there. That's the bumper jack. Got the mounting plate and everything for it. That's the plate for the bumper jack when you use it. So you got all that stuff in here that you would need. But again, a lot of people don't even use that stuff because again, you don't want to cause any damage to your bumpers. So typically just use a regular floor jack. So that's everything with the inside of the trunk. All right, now on our passenger side here, we're 67 Camaro. Everything's all the same as what we just went over. We can just kind of look at this side now and look at the your door fitment in accordance to the quarter panel and that front fender. And as I look up across there, I see that the fitment is pretty good on this. Elevations are really good as well, just on this side as they were on the other side. Again, we've already mentioned, we've got all that bright work. So your wheel moldings, your drip rail moldings. Again, the rain gutter here in here looks really good too. I don't see any paint that's cracked or anything on this. So again, that looks really good. And again, those moldings are straight, nicely polished up. They look really good on this particular car. Again, we've already been over tire sizes and wheel sizes. So again, what brings us to our door, so we can check our gaps out here on the back side and on the front side and see that those are pretty uniform on this car. And then our elevations too look to be really good on this as well. So the door on this side has been fitted very good. We'll open this side up just as we do with all of our cars. Just take a quick peek. Again, weather strips and seals on the door are all intact, all solid, nothing chunked out of them or torn. They look to be fairly new. Rubber bump stops, both top and bottom. And the door jamb U-seals even, those are in good shape and present on this car. Weather stripping up along the top here also looks to be new. Again, excellent condition, so your windows are going to seal up great on this car. Door shuts nice and easy, good solid close there. So again, you know that it's been adjusted. Already mentioned that it's got the mirrors on both sides, both the passenger and the driver's side. Your fender mount antenna. Again, like I said, there's elevations here from the door to the fender. Those look great too. Wheel lip moldings, 15-inch centerline wheels with those tires on there, 15-inch tires. And then brings us back up to the front. where we find our other RS front fender emblem here to finish us off on this side. All right, now we're here up at the front end of our car here. Again, you can see the 67 front end. This is your RS front end with those hideaway headlights here. Okay, so again, all of this grille, all plastic, all intact. There is nothing that's broke or cracked in this front end grille. Looks very great. You've got the bright work around there, the molding around it. That looks really good too, polished up real nice. Of course, we've got that RS emblem right smack dab in the center as it should be. That looks good. Nice looking chrome bumper here on the front. Down underneath here, we have that black front air dam too to give it that nice aerodynamic look, toughen it up a little bit. And of course, something that kind of toughens it up a little bit is our hood that we have on here. Again, as I mentioned from the start, this is all steel. There is no fiberglass in this hood. So a steel 4-inch Cal induction hood. The paint looks great on this thing, and the fit for a Cal induction hood, you couldn't ask it to be any better than what it is on this car. You can see your gaps the whole way up along the sides, around the front, and up this side here, all very uniform on this car. Even across the back, it looks great. Like I said, 4-inch Cal. This thing looks fantastic for a 4-inch Cal hood. We're going to go ahead and pop this hood now. We're going to take a look at what's inside as to one of the reasons why you kind of need this Cal induction hood on this car. So let's get this open. And of course, starting with the underside of the hood, we have our hood insulation. This is the proper hood insulation for the hood. It's tacked up as it should be with the correct fasteners. And the insulation looks to be in really good condition. You don't see a lot hanging down from it. So again, it's functional, it's there, all intact. So why we need that little bit of that Cal induction hood there is because of the air cleaner, the intake that's on here, and then the carb spacer that's on here. Now this engine is a 1967 396 cubic inch big block Chevrolet engine. Again, I said it's a 1967. It retains the correct 1967 oval port heads also for this particular motor. While working from our top down, we've got this finned aluminum air cleaner on here with a reusable air filter element. We have a 750 CFM carburetor on here, and that's a Holley. Actually, this is a 650 CFM, I do remember. 650. This is an Edelbrock Performer RPM aluminum intake on here with the finned Edelbrock valve covers, chrome alternator. We've got an aluminum water pump on here. It's a high flow aluminum water pump, ceramic coated headers. It's been upgraded, the ignition on it. It's got kind of a stock style distributor on it, but they've upgraded the coil and the plug wires, so you have a blaster HVC MSD coil on here. You've got an MSD Street Fire spark plug wires as well. So again, all that's in good shape. Matching breather over here. You've got a matching PCV valve also on the other side. All the hoses look to be great. Heater lines are all hooked up on this car too. You've got the grooved belts down here, not the little V belt, but the wider grooved belt, so that's real nice. On these chrome pulleys that they have here, a chrome power steering reservoir. We also have power brakes on this car also. You can see here we've got an oversized Champion aluminum radiator here. We've got a flex fan on it as well, AC Delta battery. So again, everything underneath here is really, really nice stuff. Now, some of the things that I can talk about that are internal on this engine, this car has been upgraded as far as the cam goes. It's got a comp cams 280 hydraulic cam in it. The heads have new valves in them. Just everything about this thing, I mean, it's built to run. So with this engine package, with the transmission package that's in here, the Muncie M21 4-speed, and then also the 12-bolt GM rear end that's in here with a 373 gear, this thing's going to give you the performance that you want when you're out there and you want to have some fun with it. It's also going to give you the drivability too that you want if you just want to take it out and cruise around town with it also. All right, inside our 1967 Camaro now, we can take a look at how nice this interior really is. Starting out at the outside there with our door panels. Again, this is a full deluxe interior, all black vinyl interior as well. Door panels on both sides are in excellent condition here. You can see the shape that they're in, the plastic, the upholstery, and even the bright work, the trim work that's on those things. Those are in really good condition. As we move further inside, as far as the dash goes, we've got a factory stock dash in here. So your factory instrumentation of your 120 speedo and your fuel gauge there, again, those are factory style gauges. You do have an in-dash mounted tack. It's an aftermarket tack, but they did a real nice job putting it down in one of the spaces where there would have been a vent, a head for the vent there. So again, they did a real nice job putting that in there. As far as the center here goes, we've got the factory heater controls, and we have this custom auto sound AM/FM radio. Now the custom auto sound stuff is really nice. It fits right in those stock holes. You don't have to cut or modify your dash at all, and those radios work good. A lot of guys that run the old classic cars, they love these radios and live by them. So now they do have a couple aftermarket gauges in here. We've got an aftermarket temperature, voltmeter, and oil pressure gauge down there. So they just want to monitor those things a little closer, since they do have, you know, some engine work done in here. They want to care for that and make sure everything's running good. As far as the steering wheel goes, you can see they've done an aftermarket wheel. It's a custom wood grain style steering wheel here, the 3-spoke design on it. As far as the center console, this is a factory 4-speed center console. They've gone ahead and installed a Hurst 4-speed shifter with the Hurst T-handle on top of it. As I mentioned, it's a full deluxe interior, so you see the little bit different seat covers here, which are front and continued on to the rear, all matching, all like new condition here. As a matter of fact, they probably are new seat covers on here. So they look great. The carpeting is all intact. There's no fades, no rips or tears in any of the carpeting. The headliner also, black headliner, pulled nice and tight, all the correct bows in it. Even as I look back at the sail panels back here, those are pulled tight and installed very nicely as well. As far as seat belts, we've got all of them in here, front and rear. The only belts that are not present in here would be the shoulder harness belts that you would normally find up along the side of the headliner here. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the interior of our car as well. Everything looks just as good inside as it does out. All right, now we got our 1967 Camaro here up on the lift here, that metallic blue color there, real nice. Now you're going to see how nice the underside of this car really is too. So again, we're going to start here up front, kind of work our way back as we go, call out everything here that we can see and detail out to you. So starting out front, on the underside, we've got that black front air dam here as part of that kind of that D80 package that they came up with. Front air dam, rear trunk spoiler. But the front air dam's in excellent condition. It's that plastic piece. A lot of times you'll see these crack, but this one's in great condition. Got all the braces too holding it on, so it's going to be good and stout for you up front there. As far as framework up front here goes, the front cross member here is in good shape, nice and straight, hasn't been banged up on anything, so that looks good here. Radiator support looks good. We got an aluminum radiator up here too. It's a Champion aluminum radiator. All of the front suspension is going to be stock components, so your lower control arms, the upper A-arms, these are all just factory stamped steel components. And then as far as suspension, we've got all Edelbrock shocks on this car, front and rear. We've got a front sway bar that has been upgraded, the bushings on it. It's got like the Prothane urethane bushings on it. As far as braking on this car, we've got GM front disc brakes on the front. We've got drum brakes on the rear. Steering components are going to be stock, but it looks like they've upgraded the tie rods here. They've got these nice adjustable turnbuckles on them here, so you can adjust your toe on them and help get your alignment all set there. So that's all very nice components. Transmission here, we'll look at that real quick. We've got a blow-proof bell housing. It does have the cover on the front for the flywheel to help protect that against any dirt or debris coming in. We've got a Muncie M21 4-speed transmission here also. Case looks great on it. The transmission cross member also looks superior on this car, very straight. And the tail shaft mount back here, your bushing, that looks great. Drive shaft is in excellent condition. You can see here it's got this bolt-in drive shaft loop. Nice safety feature on this car. If you ever lose a drive shaft, it's going to keep that up there. It's not going to let it drop down, cause any kind of fatal failures or anything underneath the car here. Exhaust system on this car, we've got ceramic coat long tube headers, dual exhaust the whole way back. We've got a set of Dynamax super turbo mufflers on this car. You can see as far as the frame, our subframe looks great here on both sides. We've got bolt-in subframe connectors here also. So again, another good feature on this car to keep everything good and stout underneath here. Floors here look to be in great shape, nice, good, and solid here. And you can see how they're finished off very nicely there. Looks like it may have had floors put in it, but they did it with the correct metal, seam sealed everything, and finished it off very, very nice underneath this car. As far as to continue out with the drive line on the car, we've got a GM 12-bolt posi rear end unit here. I believe it's got 373 gears in it, so a good streetable gear, yet it's going to be something that you can get a little bit of performance out of too. And then as far as fuel tank, it's just a stock fuel tank. Now our rear suspension, we've got just factory multi-leaf rear suspension on the car. Again, I mentioned it does have those Edelbrock shocks all four corners on the car too. So again, you're going to have a real good ride on this car. So that's pretty much it as far as the suspension goes. Brake lines are all in great condition on this car. Fuel lines are in good shape. It's got the emergency brake cables with all the correct hardware, the hangers, cables, frame mounts, everything all connected back to those rear drum brakes. So that's really it in a nutshell for the underside of this car. I know I said quite a bit there, but everything looks great. Things have been upgraded underneath here to increase the strength of the frame and everything. Suspension, everything's good. The only other thing we can mention is what it's riding on as far as wheels and tires. We've got all 15-inch centerline wheels on this car. They're polished aluminum wheels. On the front, we have a bit of a smaller tire. I believe these are, I can take a look at real quick here. They are, let me get you a size, 165/80 R15s. So they elected to go with that narrower tire up front for just the look they were going after. And then of course on the back, 15-inch wheels also, but they went with Avenger Mastercraft GTs back here, and those are 275/60 R15 tires as well. You can see your tread here on these are very, very good. They're just like new here, both the rears and the fronts as well. And that is pretty much it for underneath our car. Before we go ahead and lower it down and we fire the engine for you, I just always want to leave you with our contact information. You can always email us, you can call us. All of our contact info, like our phone number and email, is available to you throughout all the photos and the videos that we do of these cars. You can also go to our company website, www.hanksters.com, and we have the newer feature out there that we've been letting people know about, that you can actually text us questions or comments, and we'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So